Hey dreamers, this is Anisha Jennings, a fellow immigrant and an entrepreneur. From being an engineer in India to building my tech business in the US, I've lived the journey you're on. Welcome to Your American Dream podcast, where we turn immigrant challenges into superpowers. Are you feeling out of place, struggling with a job hunt, or simply missing home? I've been there, and I'm here to guide you through it. In each episode, we'll dive into real stories, practical advice, and mindset that will help you write your unique success story. From navigating cultural differences to building a purposeful life, I've got you covered. So if you're ready to turn your immigrant experience into your greatest strength, let's dive in. Your American dream starts now. Welcome to Your American Dream. I'm Anisha Jennings, and today I'm honored to welcome Sharmin Banu, an executive coach based in Seattle with a deep background in technology and leadership. Sharmin brings over 25 years of experience, including senior roles at Microsoft and other tech organizations, and is an International Coach Federation credentialed professional certified coach. Since 2009, she has coached executives and senior leaders across Fortune 500 companies and startups, helping them develop emotional intelligence, executive presence, and leadership influence. Charmin's work centers on leading with purpose and joy, shifting leaders from overachievement to sustainable excellence. Welcome, Charmin. Thank you so much for being on my show today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. So, you walked away from a dream career at Microsoft to pursue coaching. So what led you to make that decision in 2009? Before we go to that question, let's back up and have you tell us how your journey began and how you got to Microsoft.
Thank you, Anisha. That's a great question. So I know many of our audience would be able to relate to their story when I share mine. And
Yes.
that's the privilege I have today with you. My family is in Bangladesh. I grew up, went to college, got my bachelor's degree in Bangladesh, and it was in computer science. And my dream was to be at Microsoft. Microsoft was the mecca of tech professionals at that time. So, of course, I did not know what's the path for that, but from my other college colleagues, classmates, seniors, I knew that you can come as a graduate student. So that's what I applied. And of course, went through all the visa hurdles plus, financial challenges to make that leap to the States. Eventually, of course, with my family's support and my grit, I was able to make it. And my husband also joined me within a year. So that is how I came to the States. And of course, graduate school was another challenge, seeing all the smart people from so many different parts of the world came. That was a privilege. At the same time, you need to, be on top of your game to survive and thrive. So that was our goal. And getting acclimated to the culture, new lifestyle, whatnot, weather, another challenge. So all these things, as I look back, was hard, no question about that. But at the same time, it is like a boot camp. It is like a training that prepares you for the, harder
For sure.
challenges in front of you. So I won't change any of those because I'm grateful that that experience made me who I have become today. And
Yes.
eventually we got interviews from Microsoft and landed at Microsoft. It was end of 2000. Both my husband and I got offers from Microsoft. So it felt like dream came true.
Yes.
I thought like, okay, this is a train I'm going to ride forever and that will be my life. Yeah. Happy to share that. But I
Yes.
will pause here to see what
Yes.
questions you
Thank you for sharing that. And I know I started off saying Microsoft, but it's a journey coming there, and it's not easy. It doesn't matter which timeline when you came here or if you're still planning to come here. It's always a challenge coming to a new country and adapting and making it your own.
have.
So now coming back to the question, you walked away from that dream career that you harbored that dream for so long, and you walked away from that. So tell us a little bit about what went into that and how did you think, okay, this is not no longer my dream, or how did your dream evolve?
Thank you. Every time I think about it, I need to take a pause. I'm taking that pause right now. So I get that questions a lot. How did you make that decision? Was it you knew it? Was it clear? Was it an overnight choice? None of this are true. It was a deliberate process and it was a very hard choice. So just to give you some context, I started as an engineer and then I became a manager. I had a team here and also offshore, and I became a mom as well. Anyone can tell how busy I was at that time. I did not have time to take a breath. I did not have time for all this self care and other things. Right? I was just behind all my responsibilities. All the time I was trying to catch up. In the meantime, I realized that is as a mom, I want to learn about, how to raise a kid, what are the milestones. We are very, high achiever people. In every context we want to do that. So I was getting interested in learning about those. As a people manager, I realized that I really loved that role, and people came to me with, difficult situations, questions, dilemma. Even other managers who were much more experienced than I was came to me with their people challenges. To me, those felt like common sense. So when I shared my advice, my 2 cents, they found it useful. And not just at work, in my outside world, friends, colleagues came to me for advice. And they gave me feedback that talking to me was very useful. So I started connecting the dots. Something feels useful to others, and it is so natural to me. And this gives me so much joy and satisfaction. So as I noticed this pattern, I was like, I want more of it. And as an engineering manager at Microsoft, that was not my primary role. So that was a bit a challenge for me. How can I have a career where I get to do this people stuff more? That will give me more joy, more purpose. I did not have that answer. So that was the starting of that search. What is that? Does it even exist? So I talked to people, I read books, I went to therapists, tried to get an answer to that question. So, long story short, it boiled down to I have 2 degrees in computer science, and now I'm interested in people stuff, which I do not have any credential, but I know that from some feedback, I have some talent. So, how do I make it? And how do I let go of this income that I have right now?
Right.
So, when you
Wow.
have a question and you stay true to that, eventually you'll find an answer, you find clarity. That's what happened for me.
Perfect. Well, thank you for sharing that journey. So, how did the transition challenge your identity and redefine success for you?
Well, I love that question. Identity. Yeah. When the last day I was walking out of Microsoft, I felt so alone. I felt like I just committed a career suicide, knowing I'd left what was known towards something so much unknown.
Right, right.
Right? And these many years, I was known as someone who works for Microsoft, who is a manager at Microsoft, who is a software engineer. So all these became part of my identity. All these defined who I was. And I had a blank slate in front of me and so much unknown. It was scary.
Right.
So I would love to say I found my passion and I was excited to go towards it. Actually, it was more of fear.
Right.
It was more of, okay, what do I do now? And some trust internally that is, if I made it this far, I think I can figure it out. So that conviction and trust was there to help me take those steps that I walked out of Microsoft.
Wow. So, how did your family react to this? Because this was like a big dream that I'm sure your whole family held for you, right? And now your dream was evolving. How did your family react to it? And what was their, what did they say?
Your intuition is So on point, of course, my parents, my in-laws, they were like shocked. Like, you worked so hard for this, and now you're walking out of that. I mean, what's wrong? So
Yeah.
basically, they asked that question lovingly, and of course, we did not grow up rich, so letting
Right.
go of that income was unheard of. At the same time, my husband saw me suffering night
Mm.
after days, nights. I was toiling. I was, disturbed with this
Right.
question. And he realized, he said, you know, if you are unhappy with this question, there is no point staying here and become even unhappier. So
Right.
why not? We can afford it. So that actually gave me that support, that courage, that, yeah, it's worth a try.
Yeah.
Even it is unknown, but I made it this far, and my siblings were also were very supportive. So with that, I got my courage enforced.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a
Yeah.
process. Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it's borrowed belief and borrowed courage that helps us, especially from family and friends. So kudos to you for that. So looking back, what did engineering teach you that still shows up in your coaching today?
As if we we talked about it already, but I really appreciate that the insight you are drawing out from. Today, I really am grateful for that training, for that engineering training, for that Microsoft training with, in addition to my coach training. I am a product of all of them, not just all three of them, plus my family's values, family's teaching, coming from my grandparents' modeling of
Yes.
how you uphold your values. So I would say all these are part of how I coach today.
Right.
And one of the things I tell my clients, especially those coming from engineering and tech background, think about, we are like machines, much more complex than the
Yes.
phone you hold on your hand, right? So think about, this is a complex system.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can treat our challenges, behavioral issues, emotional intelligence as features of that complex system, then actually we can apply engineering principles.
For
One,
sure. I love that.
to understand how it operates, right? How this operating system works.
Right.
And then when something is not expected or deviation from ideal behavior, we can look into it. That is, okay, what were the triggers? What were the bugs that actually caused this undesired result? Then
Wow.
only we can understand it with more curiosity, less of judgment, and then find an elegant solution to that.
Beautiful. Wow. You put it so well. It's like engineers mostly look for solutions, right? So looking for a solution in this, like treating yourself as a complex challenge. I love that analogy. So you talk about leading with purpose and joy. What does that look like in practice for senior leaders?
Purpose and joy are two of my favorite words. So let me give you a context a bit. When I first came to coach training, the first course was not about how you coach others.
Mm,
It was about yourself. It was like an overall reality check or a health check about your own mindset, beliefs, and well-being. I'm so fortunate that we went through first 3 months, just that class, working on ourselves. And
mm,
that's when actually it just hit me. All my life, I had been known as smart, talented, and I can get things done. I can produce excellent results. But no one told me I can actually have joy. I can
mm,
connect with the purpose that's meaningful to me through that process. So that was the biggest gift from that class I got for myself. Joy is the engine, is the fuel that actually helps you keep going. So I use this car analogy. Think about, you are a very fine car and the tires in the car are depleted. It doesn't have the, air pressure, healthy air pressure.
right.
So if you are driving that car in a rugged terrain, you have to push the gas pedal so much that your engine gets all the burden. It eventually could burn out, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
joy would be the healthy tire pressure. If you have the joy, then your engine won't be overworking. You'll
Right.
be driving as if you are just having, you know, that enjoyable ride. So to me, for all my high achieving leaders, clients, joy means what is that you do daily, regularly to inflate that tire. It could be just taking a breather during your day in between back-to-back meetings. It could be stepping out of your desk for 5-10 minutes and just breathe, just to take a walk or have a healthy snack.
Right.
That's it. It could start from there. Yeah.
Beautiful. So, why do you think so many accomplished leaders feel stuck or dissatisfied despite outward success?
Yeah, that is a great question. If I use myself as the first client, we start our life with this model that there are success formula that you need to pursue, that you need to work hard to achieve, right? And we do that. And if we keep doing that, that's when the problem happens, is that we, without checking within ourselves what is important, what are the few things that I care about, I call it core values, that I'm honoring in my everyday life. If we are only working hard towards delivering the result the organization wants, getting the promotion, making others happy in your
Right.
personal life, in your professional life, and not looking inside saying, hey, what will inflate my tire? That's one thing, is that you are getting depleted. The other thing is that not knowing what are the values you care deeply about. For example, for me, it is relationship, connecting with others, getting joy from those meaningful conversations. If we are in front of our computer all day, just solving those technical problems, or writing docs that doesn't have an interaction with a human being, I will be depleted because I do not get people connection.
For sure.
Likewise, right? Likewise, if you care about, for example, just community, your community, and if you are detached because you are so busy with your work life, you will feel like depleted as well. So that is the core formula, is that knowing what are the core values I care about as a person, and how do I honor them in my regular life. When that doesn't happen for a long time, you'll feel that. You'll feel that dissatisfaction within you.
Right. Makes sense. I love your analogies and definitely shows the engineering brain.
Thank you.
So, you coach executives on executive presence. What do
Yeah.
leaders often misunderstand about presence and influence?
Yeah. This is really enjoyable conversation for me, Anisha.
I'm so glad.
Presence and influence. Let me start with the presence thing first. So, in one word, it is we are so focused on the outward appearance. We try to manage that outward appearance so hard that we forget the fundamental thing. That is, what you are inside actually gets portrayed on the outside. So if you are vigilant about, oh my God, what is my boss thinking? What is that other colleague thinking of me? Who is making a judgment about the way I'm presenting? Your attention is outward. And what happens is that inside, you are becoming like restless. You are not connected with what you care about.
Yeah.
Not just about yourself, about this project you're talking about these people you're surrounded by. You are actually becoming inauthentic. That inauthenticity shows up in your nervousness, in the way you are trying to show up as smart, knowledgeable. You speak super fast. You use lots of jargons that other people have hard time following.
Right.
And that is a perfect example of lacking presence. Executive or not, first thing is presence as a human.
Right.
Are you connecting with your colleague who you are having this conversation? And that colleague might be your boss. That colleague might be your organizational leader. But if you are seeing them as a gatekeeper for your performance, your next promotion, you are treating them as, not as a human, but anything
Mm,
else. And
right.
that's when it breaks down. That presence breaks down.
Wow.
So, as simple as that, if you can stay true and take a moment to connect with, hey, what is important about this project that we are talking about? What is something important for my boss to take away from this conversation?
Right.
You actually care more about their curiosity, their need, and at the same time, stay true to what you bring to the table.
Right. Right. Beautiful.
Presence just follows. You don't have to worry about it.
I love it. I love how you broke it down. And it's so true, though. Like, even being present as a mom or as a wife or just as
Yeah,
as a friend, right? As a family member, just
yeah.
being present to listen to the conversations is so important. So, so
Mhm.
much so. It's like, it's definitely important at your workplace. So, what are the biggest mindset shifts required to move from doing to delegating and from telling to coaching?
Wow. Doing to delegating, telling to coaching. So I recently wrote about the delegation thing. Delegation and coaching actually comes hand in hand.
Right.
Think about it. When we are expert in our field, we get validation from it. We get
Yes.
rewards because we are so good in doing those things, right? And as you mentioned, identity, we become known as Sharmin does this really well. So
Yes.
our identity becomes tied to the way we do the work, the result we deliver. Now that becomes a barrier because if I'm so tied to my expertise, I will have hard time giving it to you saying, okay, Anisha, can you do this part?
Right. Right. Letting go.
Yeah, letting go because my identity is tied to how the result is.
Correct. Wow.
And I will protect anything to keep that identity intact rather than thinking, hey, what is the organization needs right now?
Right.
What does people on my team needs to learn and grow? I will forget the big picture. I become selfish
Right.
in the name of I want to make sure the results are good. Kind of almost fooling ourselves, saying that is I care. That's why I want to do everything myself.
Mm.
Yeah. But I want you to really look inside. What is that you are actually protecting here? But, we are not malicious people. All we want to do good, do well for ourselves, for the organizations. But, sometimes an external person needs to help you to look inside to see, okay, what's going on? Why I'm
Yeah.
so attached to the way it has to be done.
Right. Right.
Why cannot I tap into my colleagues' resourcefulness and have the conversation, have a collaborative approach?
Right.
Delegation is actually a collaborative approach
For
because
sure.
even though I'm asking you to do some of the work, we are having the initial conversation to see, okay, what would success look like? And what are our roles to make that happen? Maybe you will do some of the groundwork, but I will be here present available for you when you have some questions that you cannot resolve by yourselves. So that
Right.
is the coaching part, right? So those goes hand in hand, I would say. And at the same time, sometimes we get blindfolded by
Yeah.
our expertise about something and becomes a barrier for us to release that attachment.
For sure. I love how you gave a perspective on this because lot of us have that problem, especially when as a business owner, right? Like there's only so much you can do by yourself. And then in order to scale and grow, you do need team. But then it's always this, okay, but I do this better. So I can't let this go. Cause how do I delegate now? Because if I don't delegate, I can't scale, but I'm so attached to it that I can't delegate. So I loved how you put that in perspective. So thank you for that. You've coached leaders across cultures and industries worldwide. How
Mhm.
does cultural awareness shape effective leadership today?
Ah, yeah, cultural lens. Whoa, that's another big one. I feel fortunate to be born in a different country than the United States.
For sure.
I have seen the whole arc of,
Right.
Eastern philosophy, collective culture, all the way from here. It is very individualistic culture, right? And there are strengths in all the cultures.
Right.
Yeah. There is no one culture that is better than another culture.
For sure.
It's like, we at this time, we are exposed so much in diverse different cultures. We are so much more rich in that sense that,
Yes.
we don't need to kind of just imagine it. We have people around us who can showcase that for us, right?
For sure.
Yeah. So, and we are managing people who are from different culture, who grew up with different operating systems than
Yes.
what you have done, right? So, I believe in coaching as a leader, and that means you actually do not decide it for them. You actually create that open space and be curious about.
Right.
How do you want to be managed? How do you see success? What would support look like for you? If we can stay true to those curious questions, actually, we can collaborate with any culture. It doesn't have to be, I know about all the cultures. It's
Right.
not possible, right? You can
Right.
read books, but living and growing in a culture, that's so different from just learning it from like watching a TV or reading a book, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
That's the best part about being here in America is that you get to experience all these different cultures and people
Yeah.
from different countries. And it's just amazing to see the melting point, basically. So
Yeah.
what does the American dream mean to you now? Compared to, when you were dreaming about coming to Microsoft, what does it mean to you now after you've built success in both the corporate world and the coaching world?
Yeah. You're right. It morphed, it evolved. When I first came, just getting into Microsoft would be the biggest success.
Right.
And now that I have navigated that path and some more, I'm actually involved in an organization as a nonprofit organization as a volunteer leader. The name is Braver Angels. Braver Angels' mission is to help depolarize America through meaningful, curious conversation with people who has a different point of view than yours.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that aligns with who I have become actually through coaching all these leaders from so many backgrounds, all the way, native Alaskan leader to tech leaders in California, from someone in the US to someone in China, someone in South Africa. I had the privilege to coach these leaders with different cultural background. And in the US, we have that spectrum. But what happened is that we became, in the political arena mostly, that Braver Angels is working on, is that we became so much isolated in bubbles. We live in our bubbles. And then we do not talk to those who think otherwise, who vote otherwise. So anyway, politics was never my intention or my interest, but people are. So I use Braver Angels platform as a training opportunity for me actually to meet people who has different belief system or different thinking. And that actually made me a better person. I actually collaborate with leaders who I call friends today who voted otherwise. Not that we are changing each other's mind about how to vote, who to vote, but we are learning so much about each other.
Right.
That to me has become my American dream.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's the whole thing is to, live in harmony and peace and learn and respect each other. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. Especially that's what the right of speech. So to just be able to listen to people and still have that respect for another fellow human being. How do you measure, like personally, how do you measure success today?
How do I measure success? That's always a work in progress to me.
Yes.
So at this moment of time, as I was reflecting back on this year, I say I started noticing more, staying present, and just see what is. What is gives me so much to understand than if I think more of what it should be, what it could be.
Mm-hmm.
So presence and that capacity to notice what is so powerful that I deliberately practiced this year most specifically. It is actually become more courageous about showing up
Right.
with my truth while I respect others. So I actually made a commitment to myself. I will express more, I will write more,
Right.
and I won't hold myself back thinking too much about, what is this financial outcome it will give me, what is the material benefit it will give me.
Right.
I just wanted to take this leap of faith that I did when I first came to the US, um, churning it a little bit more, doubling down on that. Let me tap into that courage a bit more and
Wow.
see what the world has decided for me.
Go, Sharmin. We're cheering you on. So, what is one takeaway or advice you would give a fellow immigrant woman who is now in your shoes, in who is now in the place that you were so many years ago, coming here, starting your journey, wanting to be at Microsoft? If someone is in that place right now, what would be your advice?
I would say focus on that inner conviction and tap into the trust in yourself and in others around you.
Yes.
I have so many stories like that. People around you shows up to be your champion, to be your supporter, to help you not just survive, but to thrive. Connect with them. It will come from unexpected sources.
Right.
And today I want to remember that when I was the first year I came, I was traveling in the New York City. I was in that ferry, and a young African American vendor said, "Ma'am," and I was not looking at her. I was like, "No, I'm not going to talk to any stranger because everyone warned me, right?" And then she kept persisting, "Ma'am," and then I kind of had to look at her. Why is she calling me ma'am so many times? And then she said, "Ma'am, your backpack is open. Your wallet might fall off."
Wow. Wow.
So that story reminds me of trust, trusting others that will help you in your
Yes.
journey. If
Yes.
I did not listen to her, I would have lost my wallet that day.
For sure. For
Can
sure.
you imagine? My
Wow.
first year, I would look,
Yeah. And it's so true what you're saying, because there is bias everywhere, right? Especially when you're moving to a new country, people are telling you so many things. So to trust your gut, your conviction, and to, trust people, it's very hard, but it's somewhere you need to start. So that's great advice. Thank you so much. So if somebody wants to work with you and, get coaching from you, what's your process and what does it look like?
So my website is greenleafcoach.com. So I have free call that you can schedule with me, and we can talk about what's important to you and how I can be of help. And that's how you get started. And I have a freebie on my website, a free goal setting document, ebook. Feel free to download it and come back to me to have that conversation.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here today, sharing your experience, your expertise, your analogies. I enjoyed them so much. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and being here and sharing your story and creating impact.
Pleasure is mine.
As we close this powerful conversation with Sharmin Banu, I'm reminded that sustainable success isn't built through constant hustle. It's built through self-awareness, alignment, and courageous leadership. Sharmin's journey shows us that when leaders grow from the inside out, everything else follows. If you're ready to reflect that clarity and confidence through your website, I'd love to help you and I'd love to help build a platform that supports your next chapter. If you want to be on my show, please send me a message, send me an email, or if you would like to start your own podcast, I'm happy to help you achieve that goal. This is Anisha Jennings reminding you that your American dream doesn't require more pressure, just more purpose. Until next time.
Thank you for tuning into Your American Dream. I hope this episode left you feeling inspired and ready to take on the world. Remember when I first landed in the US, lost and overwhelmed? Well, look at us now. We're building our dreams together. Your story matters, and I'm so honored to be a part of it. If you enjoyed our chat today, please spread the love. Rate, review, and share. Let's grow this amazing community of dreamers together. Want more? Catch my daily doses of inspiration on my Instagram @JenningsTechCorner. Also check out the show notes for more ways to connect. Remember, your accent is the voice of your ambition. Your background is your superpower. Let's dream big and achieve bigger. Until then, this is Anisha cheering you every step of the way.